In this video, we will look at the emotional indications of the various planets. So let's look at the first concept. It's called Karak or Karakatva. This is a word you will commonly hear. It means a planet. When it is said that a planet is a Karak, it means it is an indicator for something. So when we say Sun is a Karak for ego, so that means it indicates ego. Wherever it is sitting, your ego will be associated with that aspect of life. Okay, so we'll look at the shloka by Maharshi Parashar and then we will decode it word by word. So Maharshi Parashar says, Sarvatma cha Divanatho. So for sun, he's saying Divanatho, it means the Lord of the day. That makes sense. And he uses the word Sarvatma. So Atma is usually translated to soul, but in Sanskrit, a word has a lot of meaning. So here it means ego or identity. So wherever sun is situated, your identity will be there. And then he says, Manaha Kumud Bandhava. So for moon, he is using the word Kumud Bandhava. So Kumud is a water lily, which is a flower which blooms at night, said to be blooming at night. So it's again the description of the moon is very poetic. So you can already associate moon with beauty and poetry. And then he says, Manaha Kumud Bandhavaha. The mind or the emotions are governed by the moon. So wherever moon is sitting, you are very emotionally interested, attached to that thing. You will be constantly worrying about that thing. So these two planets, sun and moon, govern the ego and the emotions. They are, I call them the identity factors. Wherever they are sitting, your identity is going there, attached there. And then he says, Sattvam Kujaha. Kujaha is the name of the Mars. And Sattva here means intelligence. Practical intelligence is ruled by Mars. So the ability to solve day-to-day problems, the enthusiasm required for it is governed by Mars. Buddha Prokto Buddha. So the speech and the logic is governed by Buddha or Mercury. Vani Pradayaka. That is the speech. Devejyo Gyan Sukhado. Devejya, the one who is worshipped by all the good people, the saints and the devtas, which is Jupiter or the Guru or an enlightened master. So what does Jupiter provide? He provides happiness that is born out of wisdom, and wisdom itself is provided by Jupiter. Bhragu Virya Pradayaka. So Bhragu here is the name for Venus, and it governs Virya or courage in life. So now you might think how Venus is associated with courage, because the common conception is Mars is the only planet associated with courage. So in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Maharishi Patanjali says Brahmacharya Virya Labha. From Brahmacharya one gains Virya or courage in life. So Venus here indirectly rules Brahmacharya, and it also rules indulgence or grihastha also. So both in Hinduism we say either you go in grihastha ashram or brahmacharya ashram, which means either you get married or you practice brahmacharya, or you become a swami, or you are single. So both possibilities can be seen from Venus, the married life and your that you will not get married. So that's what it also means. And the sense of courage, the energy, the vitality that comes with brahmacharya, even a married person can follow brahmacharya. It just means not indulging more than it's necessary. So you have the wisdom to know how much is healthy to and indulge and not get flown in those emotions. And then in the end, Maharishi says, Chaya Sunu Dukkada. The son of Chaya, the son of the shadow, brings grief. So here the son of the shadow is Saturn. So what does son of shadow mean? Shadow here is an indication of ignorance, not knowing how the world works, not knowing how the spirit works. So, not knowing all of this, one is miserable due to Saturn. Of course, Saturn has a lot of positive meanings, which we will see later. But here he is focusing on the grief aspect of Saturn, or the sadness it comes with. So now what we will do is we will take two of these planets together, and based on only this shloka, we will try to see if those two planets are coming together, what will be the meaning. So if, let's say, Sun and Moon are sitting in certain aspect of certain house, then how will they affect that aspect of your life? Okay. So let's begin with Sun. So Sun and Moon, right? So we already saw Sun and Moon are both identity. So your ego and emotion are both going at the same place. So you are really attached to that thing. You're really concerned about it. You will constantly worry about that thing. So if it is, let's say, in the fourth house, you'll be constantly worrying about your mother. Or if it is in the second house, you're constantly worrying about how to earn more money. So that's how you see it. And then the second one would be Sun and Mars. Okay? So we saw Mars is the practical intelligence. So wherever Sun goes, your identity gets attached with that planet. So here your identity is attached with the Martian energy of you are interested in solving day-to-day problems. So these are people who are good at organizing and administration. People who go into IAS, etc. is supported by this. So that's how you see it. And then Sun with Mercury is very interested in their speech, so they can talk a lot, go on talking about it. Yeah. And sometimes if Mercury is too close to the Sun, we will see this phenomenon later also. It's called Asta, that the planet gets set or does not give full results. So here the communication can be bad also if the Mercury is very close to the Sun. And then Sun and Jupiter. So with Jupiter we already saw is a very spiritual, religious planet, and Sun with it amplifies that. And the person has a very deeply spiritual inclination. And Sun and Venus. So here it can make the person very picky and choosy about what they want to indulge in and what they want to enjoy. So the ego comes into the play. And then this will show up in everything, like they are very picky about what food they want to eat, which restaurant they will go to, and who they want to marry, and their expectation from the partner will be very specific. So all these things will be there. And then Sun and Saturn. So if Sun and Saturn Dasha, if this is active by Dasha, we will see later how the Dasha activates certain combination. So in that Dasha, some grief will come, because the ego is then associated with grief. So what is the remedy here is to serve others, have a serving attitude in that aspect of life wherever Sun and Saturn are sitting. And you need to learn a lot about that aspect of life because there is some ignorance there. These are all the conjunctions of the Sun. And now let us move to the Moon. So Moon and Mars brings a lot of aggression in the emotions, yeah? And makes you very ambitious. Moon and Mercury. So Mercury, Maharshi said for speech, right? So Moon, we already saw, is a very poetic, soft, gentle planet. So this makes a very sweet speech, very soft-spoken people. But there is some fluctuation in the speech, very moody in nature. All this you will see. And Moon and Jupiter. So here emotion and wisdom or intuition are coming together. So the person is very wise and kind and intuitive. This is considered a very good combination in general. And then the next one is Moon and Venus. So now Moon and Venus are both planets of enjoyment. We already saw Moon with poetry, and Venus is also associated with that. So the person can indulge a lot. Lot of pleasure will come, lot of luxury and comforts will come, but you have to be careful not to indulge too much, because here it is getting amplified. And of course, the person will enjoy poetry, may themselves write poetry. Again, because these are nice planets, and the sweet speech will be there here also. And they will indulge in food, there can be a foodie, they can be very romantic about the partner, all these qualities will be there. And again, Moon Saturn, if that is activated by the Dasha, then it will bring some sadness, some challenges in that aspect of life. And again, Seva and learning a lot about that aspect of life is remedy. Having a service attitude. And then let's look at the conjunctions of Mars. So I've already covered Mars and Sun, Mars and Moon. So let's look at Mars and Mercury. So now the speech is associated with a rough planet. With Mars, the speech becomes very sarcastic and blunt and rude. So, but they use the speech to solve practical problems. Right? So you will see this combination in lawyers, people who have to talk a lot in their professions, even astrologers or teachers. And then Mars and Jupiter. So these people are very passionate about their religion, and because Mars is very rough, it can kind of bring issues also. So people can go their own way in their religion instead of taking initiation for a guru. So that can hamper their religious, spiritual progress. And then we have Mars and Venus. So this with Venus, there is a rough planet, so it can bring some quarrels with the partner. But if the combination is strong, they will do a lot for their partner. They will be very passionate about them. And Mars and Saturn, in the end, both are rough. So there will be a lot of obstacles. And again, having a serving attitude is a good remedy in that area of life. And then the remaining conjunctions of Mercury. So Mercury with Jupiter. So here Mercury is already with speech and intelligence, and Jupiter is also very spiritual and religious. So these people love to read about spirituality and religion. They like to read those kind of books, listen to those kind of videos, and they may be well versed in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, or they have read Quran, or whatever is the scripture of the religion. These people can become pundits or go into any spiritual field. So all these possibilities are there. And then Mercury, Venus. Again, the speech is with the sweet, soft planet. So the speech is very sweet. They'll be into poetry. And again, this is a combination for a lot of indulgence. And these people just to love to hang out and talk with their partner. These are people who will write poetry for their partner, or couples who like to play board games together. All these activities they would like to do. If you compare to Mars Venus, a Mars Venus couple will like to go on adventure trips together. So those are the differences. And then Mercury, Saturn. Here Mercury is with a rough planet, so again the speech can become harsh. So one needs to watch out for that. And then Jupiter, Venus. So here the happiness and wisdom is coming through the partner. The partner can be a guide to you. Combination brings a lot of enjoyment. But again, we need to be careful not to indulge. And then Jupiter and Saturn. Again, the person is interested in spirituality here, but it takes a lot of time and some obstacles, delays are there because of the rough nature of Saturn. And then we have Venus and Saturn. So this creates obstructions in achieving your enjoyments. So you go to a restaurant and you have a bad experience. That can happen in a Venus Saturn combination being active, or you quarrel with your partner in that dasha. Yeah? So all this is possible. So the remedy here is to keep seva bhav, serving attitude towards your partner. Be available for them. Be there to serve them. So these are all the conjunctions of the 7 planets. We will see Rahu and Ketu later. Maharshi does not cover Rahu and Ketu here because they work in a different manner. So these are the conjunctions and the emotional patterns associated with them. These are very basic possibilities to get you started, and as we go into later videos, we will see more and more predictions from these conjunctions. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comment section what charts you have, or which of these conjunctions are happening, and if you can identify any emotional patterns associated with this conjunction.